Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Acupuncture is My Life. In this episode, I want to give a little focus on one of the more vital internal organs in your body, and just briefly go over ways or certain signs to look out for that this particular internal organ is trying to communicate with you that something is wrong. And I'm saying this is because the internal organ I'm speaking of is the liver. And I'm noticing more and more many individuals are experiencing certain signs and symptoms that their liver is not functioning properly, but they're unaware that it's actually the liver that's trying to say, hey, it's like screaming like, hey guys, look, ladies, gentlemen, pay attention. Something's wrong here. Stop doing this. Stop doing that. And I understand we're busy globally. There's just so much going on that it leaves us little to no time to really focus on us and who we are and what's going on with us internally. Again, and I'm not going to stop saying this, is along with seeing a physician on an annual basis for your regular annual checkup, blood work, so forth and so on. Make sure you're seeing an acupuncturist for regular wellness visits. That is super important. Because the minute we detect something is off, one, we make adjustments to treatment protocols and we inform you, and also we'll make some Eastern nutrition or give some Eastern nutrition advice, make adjustments in your diet. Maybe you're doing this, stop doing this. And you may want to consider doing whatever that's best for you. So it's important because you have to understand a proper functioning liver is important for your overall well-being. And if your liver's not functioning properly, one, I'm going to tell you right now, your lifespan is going to take a huge hit. Huge hit. So if you're looking, hey, I plan to live 100 years of age, but your liver's not functioning properly, cancel that journey real quick. You see, when your liver is faced with problems or it's in trouble, it's going to give you several warning signs. Some of them may be subtle, just go right over your head. But the key is paying attention to your body. And if you're seeing an acupuncturist on a regular basis, you'll become more in tune with your body. You will definitely become more in tune. And then now just focusing on this essential organ, that being the liver. You have to understand something. One of its primary purposes is to filter toxins out of your blood. Another is to break down fats and produce bile that helps a lot with digestion. And keep in mind, the liver also stores nutrients such as glycogen. So in those cases where, you need this emergency energy or you need energy right away, it gets released. Glycogen gets released into the blood to provide you with that energy in which you need. So now, think about if that's not functioning properly. Chronic fatigue, tiredness, weight gain, obesity, cancer. So much goes on now when there's problems with your liver. And guess what? If your liver's not functioning properly, there's the buildup of toxins in the blood. It's going to lead to a myriad of other issues. And guess what? Other organ systems within the body is going to begin to break down. This is why I say, to an acupuncturist, the liver is responsible for the smooth flow of chi throughout the body, period. And when that function is hampered, your body will not eliminate properly. You'll experience constant fatigue. Blood production becomes hampered. So many things go wrong when chi is not flowing smoothly throughout the body. So a healthy liver is super important to keep us functioning properly and the blood, your blood and chi flowing harmoniously throughout the body. Because when blood and chi become stagnant or static, disease ensues. Disease ensues. Forget it. You're not feeling well. And you see, the liver, with regard to blood, not only does it store blood, but it processes it in a way in which it extracts nutrients in which the body needs. It also metabolizes drugs, breaks down toxins for removal. The liver has several hundred functions, and many individuals do not know that, including, let's say, amino acid regulation, iron storage, blood clot regulation, glucose storage, bowel production, and so forth and so on. So there are certain things that many individuals are doing on a daily basis that's disrupting. I need my tea, green tea, but that's disrupting the function of the liver, affecting its essential role in various bodily functions. Like I said, along with filtering toxins from the blood, it produces essential hormones and enzymes. So you don't want to compromise these functions. There are several things that's even out of our control that can damage a person's liver, such as viral infections. That's somewhat out of our control. But again, if you're seeing an acupuncturist on a regular basis for regular wellness visits, you're not going to worry too much about viral infections. What else can damage our liver? Alcoholism. I've said this in plenty episodes. If you're addicted to alcohol or recreational drugs, there's a special protocol to treat that in acupuncture. That's called NADA protocol. Now, other things that can damage the liver is exposure to certain chemicals or drugs. But then, you can face liver damage as a result of, let's say, congenital defect or even a genetic disorder. But understand this one thing. Liver damage can take you straight in a direction towards health complications. And if it goes untreated, it can progress to liver failure, which in many cases can be fatal. Please understand that. And these things, whether it's picked up by an acupuncturist, whether it's picked up in your annual checkup with a physician, if you follow my guidance, you're not going to have to worry too much about your health. Because early diagnosis and treatment is super important for managing liver damage as well as preventing future complications. So you want to protect your liver. Other things that can damage the liver, I've spoken about this on Acupuncture's My Life TV, which is streaming on Roku TV, or you can watch it on the internet at acupuncturesmylife.tv. Mental and emotional disorders, constant anger, stress, chronic anger, stress, irritability. There's certain emotions that's tied to the liver that can damage the liver. Watch Acupuncture's My Life TV to learn more about that in the mental and emotional disorder section. But seeing an acupuncturist, they let you know, like there's even certain creams and stuff that you put on your body. What's on your body, you put on your skin, your liver has to detox that. The air that you breathe, your liver has to detox that. That internal organ is so important. You have to care for that, along with others. But you want to avoid heavy alcohol drinking. You want to maintain a healthy weight. You don't want to become obese. Watch the visceral fat. You become diabetic, you definitely have to see an acupuncturist. Hepatitis, that being injectable drugs, tattoos, body piercing, unprotected sex, believe it or not. These things play a part. See an acupuncturist. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever noticed or experienced itchy skin? And you have no clue, like, why? Where is it coming from? That is a typical symptom of liver disease. Because, it can be an indication, let's say, of obstructive jaundice. It can be several conditions like, let's say, bile duct stones or head of pancreas cancer or primary biliary cirrhosis or biliary cirrhosis. But this type of itching, if there's something wrong with the liver, there's usually no sign of a rash or skin sores. So you want to keep that in mind. Okay? And another, you ever notice like angiomas? And these are like sort of spider-like capillaries that are under your skin or on your legs or your face. See, this is where when seeing a physician, you get a full blood panel, liver panel, when you're getting your blood work done. And your physician would also sit down and discuss this with you. And a lot of times, especially in women, when they're experiencing like super high amounts of estrogen, it can cause this. And that's a sign that their liver's not functioning properly to metabolize this hormone, and that hormone, of course, being estrogen. But you see these like angiomas, these spider-like angiomas they tend to be more common in individuals who have cirrhosis. And that cirrhosis is usually induced by heavy alcohol drinking. And I speak so much in many episodes about just room temperature water, some herbal teas. These things are good for you. You got to stay away from the alcohol. Do you also notice, let's say, joint swelling, you're bleeding often or bruising, and there's nausea? That can be another sign there's something wrong with the liver, because you'll bleed easy. You'll bruise really easy. And this can be as a result of, let's say, a shortfall of certain proteins that's required for blood clotting. So that could be a sign that your liver's not functioning properly. So also keep that in mind. Let's say, for example, you can experience other signs saying that there's something wrong with your liver. Let's say joint pain. Joint pain. And there's certain points, acupuncture points on the liver meridian, for when there's something wrong with the liver and the person is experiencing joint pain, and it's called GB34. And acupuncturists know. It's a key point. When it's joint pain and even some swelling, we may accompany spleen 9 with that, potentially. I'm just throwing them out there, though. That's it. And it's joint pain and swelling, and then you're experiencing nausea along with frequent bruising, and you're thinking, what, you wouldn't even see it as being related, but it is. These are potential signs of liver damage. And these types of symptoms can be a sign of liver damage that's caused usually by an autoimmune disease called autoimmune hepatitis. And this happens when your immune system begins to attack healthy liver cells, causing an inflammatory response and reducing liver function. You ever notice, let's say, you're experiencing inflammation of the feet, like fluid is building up in your legs? That can be a sign of chronic liver disease, where your leg is swelling up, especially your feet. Now, it can be related to the heart as well, kidneys as well, but also the liver. And this is due to, let's say, an increased amount of pressure on the portal vein. And it's the hepatic portal vein. But what happens is when this happens, fluid tends to develop in the legs. But also, if the liver is having problems with, let's say, even producing enough blood proteins such as albumin, which I think is the largest type of protein produced in the body, but albumin, it can cause edema. Understand something. And I say this over and over. Health is wealth. Health is wealth. The wealth is not in an app on your phone or in an investment account or in the bank or in a safe. The wealth is not in your pocket. The wealth is not in your purse. It's not under your mattress. It's not in the shoebox in the closet. Nor is it under the doghouse in the backyard. The wealth is in you. You ever notice abdominal swelling? This can be a sign of liver damage, causing fluids to build up in your stomach, in your belly, in your gut. This can be a sign of chronic liver illness. Because fluids are now leaking from the surface of the liver as well as the intestines. Okay? And this can be called ascites. Now, there's several causative factors to this, and that's, let's say, hepatitis, which is induced by alcohol, drinking too much liquor, hepatic vein occlusion, cirrhosis of the liver, especially cirrhosis that's, again, caused by drinking alcohol. Understand why I speak of just drinking room temperature water and herbal teas. That's best. Because alcohol wreaks havoc. It's poison. And it can cause abdominal swelling, which is, of course, a sign of liver damage. Now, you ever experience fatigue, and this is, again, to an acupuncturist, and I spoke of this earlier in the episode, where the smooth flow of chi within the liver has been affected. One of the symptoms: chronic fatigue. Common symptom of a liver disorder. Again, it's biomedical terms. Again, the liver is responsible for filtering toxins from the blood, converting nutrients into energy. To an acupuncturist, liver chi has been affected. So now when the liver's not functioning properly, it leads to a buildup of toxins in a person's blood, which tends to cause them to feel fatigue. Also, fatigue can be caused by anemia, which is also a complication of liver disease. Because that's usually when, if you're anemic, that's usually when the liver can no longer produce enough protein needed or that's required to make red blood cells. And this can cause fatigue, as well as shortness of breath, pale skin. So unexplained fatigue can be a sign that your liver's trying to communicate that there's something wrong. See an acupuncturist. Also, yellowing of the skin, or if you notice your eyes, the whites of your eyes, which is supposed to be white, if it's yellow, see an acupuncturist. This is important. Abdominal pain. And that goes back to the toxins not being filtered out of the blood. Along with the abdominal pain, your urine will be dark. You can experience pale stools. These are all indicators that you need to get yourself to an acupuncturist right away. And so again, it's obvious. Simply make acupuncture part of your life, okay? Because acupuncture is my life. What's yours?